Hi everybody, it's a viewer request video. You want to know about tips on mental blocks. It's all in your head. I promise it's right here. And we're gonna give you tips on how to deal with them. I mean, we all have mental blocks. It doesn't matter who you are. I actually had people in my life help me get over the fear and tear down those fears that were causing my mental blocks. I remember years ago, I had my own mental block that I had to tear down my fears to get past. I was having an issue moving on to the next phase of my life. I was having a hard time kind of getting over myself, so to speak. I had just quit my corporate job. I wasn't going to go back to the corporate lifestyle. It just didn't work for me. And I was trying to get over that mental block in my head about who I was and who I really wanted to be. And it was all fear-based that was causing it. And I can distinctly remember my very first girlfriend. I was really struggling with it at the time. And she looked at me one day and said, "I don't know what your fucking problem is, but get over yourself." And I thought, excuse me? Who the hell are you to talk to me that way? But the reality is she was right. I was having a hard time getting over myself. And it was a great example of the fears I needed to tear down internally. The fear of being incapable, of not succeeding, of going outside of what society said was the norm for work and what I should be doing. And those were all the mental blocks that were happening in my head for this one situation. So it got me thinking, what is it I need to get over myself? One of the very first things you need to ask yourself when you realize you have a mental block is, why do you have it? Is it because of something society told you, or is it a personal situation of an expectation or something you feel like you need to do? If it's society imposed, I can't say it any better than an art teacher in college told me. Who needs it? Tell them to mind their own business. Tell them to fuck off. And you would be amazed at mentally how much that tears down those mental blocks and breaks down those fears. It'll allow you to be free and let go. Now, I know it sounds easier than what it is. Trust me, I have struggled with it. But the reality is if it's society telling you, you need to focus on what is right for you. Because if it's causing anguish, anxiety, stress, making you depressed, well, those are all negative emotions and feelings. If it's causing fear of lack of success or fear of being inadequate, those are all negative emotions. And why do you need it? Why do you need something in your life that causes all of that negativity? Tell that mental block it's time for you to disappear and hit the streets. Let's go. Because you need to go away and you start breaking down your fear. And you'd be amazed at what you can accomplish when you start doing that. If it's a personal imposed mental block, then it's time for you to get out of your comfort zone because you've put yourself in a box, literally. And I don't know, I think higher of myself than to put myself in a little square and limit my possibilities. That's a circle, isn't it? A square. Yes, put myself in a square. I think higher of myself, and quite honestly, you should too, because if you don't, well, that's a fear of inadequacy. That's a fear of measuring up to your own, somebody else's, society standards, and that's just wrong. So we need to break down those fears. and do away with the mental block in your head. And what I mean by break outside of your box is do something that's not normal. Change your behavior in accordance to the mental block and the situation. Like, for instance, so I had been raised and told that I needed to go get a corporate job after college, and that was the only way to be successful, and I wasn't going, it made me feel like I wasn't going to amount to anything if I didn't follow that path and do exactly those things, when in reality, I had allowed my own personal beliefs and society beliefs to put me in a box that said I wasn't going to be any good, or I wasn't going to be successful or amount to anything unless I went down that one road that everybody and everything was telling me. And I knew something different for myself. Like, I felt it internally. So I got out of my comfort zone and I took a job that I normally wouldn't have taken to open and broaden my horizons, to break down my fear of not being successful and not succeeding. And you know what? 13 years later, here I am, and I've been very successful in my life and have accomplished things that, had I gone down that path that everybody told me, I never would have accomplished. I have more self-confidence because of it. And that's an amazing thing. I broke down those fears by going outside of my box. So everybody's box is different, and it's specialized to that mental block you have. So one big question you have to ask yourself, is it a societal mental block, or is it a personally imposed mental block? And once you answer which one of those two that mental block is, you're going to be able to break down the fear of the mental block and figure out why you're having those emotions and what you need to do. Stand strong in who you are and the individual you are, and be proud in that, and you can do it. If it's a personally imposed mental block, well, then it's time to get outside of your box. Get outside of the box of limitations you've given yourself and do something different. Try it. You never know, you may end up liking it. So I know if you follow those two things and answer that one question, that simple question, then you're going to break down the fear and get past those mental blocks and be this accomplished, successful, empowered person. These things take time, so be a little easy on yourself. And it takes time implementing it all and letting it mentally sink in. But I know you can do it. I know you will be successful at it because I believe in you. So don't forget, give this video a thumbs up, like it. And if you haven't already, subscribe and keep your comments and video suggestions coming in. I love hearing them. You guys have such great ideas. So keep them coming. Leave me in the comment below what some of your mental blocks are and some of your fears associated with those mental blocks. Maybe, just maybe, we can all as a community help break down the fear and help you get past your own mental block. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Genital piercings, hot or not? That is the question you asked me. This is a viewer request video, and I thought the topic was great because, I mean, I have genital piercings. I've known people who've had genital piercings, female and male. And quite honestly,